Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another point of view video. This time I'm in the brand new Ford Puma, so let's go for a little drive, shall we? Now I will need to put the climate control on it a little bit. It is quite warm in here. I will try to make sure it doesn't interfere with the audio too much. And away we go. So the car I'm sat in right here, right now, is the Ford Puma ST-Line X. So this is towards the top of the range. There's 4 trim levels available: titanium, ST-Line, ST-Line X and the Vignale. Now the ST-Line X and the ST-Line for that matter, they are more designed to be a sportier alternative, but if you want something even more racy, there will be a Puma ST, a full fat ST, coming very soon. So there is a choice of 3 engines for this car, all of which are a 1 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder EcoBoost petrol. There may be a diesel, it all depends if there's enough demand for one. But in regard to the petrol engines, you can either have one that offers 125 horsepower with no mild hybrid system, or you can have one that has the same power output, 125 horsepower, but does have the mild hybrid system, or you can have the engine I have, which offers 155 horsepower along with 240 newton meters of torque. This power is mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox and the power is fed to the front wheels. Look at that, that's glorious. Lovely Morgan. Now if you go for the 125 horsepower engine without the mild hybrid system, you can only have a 7-speed automatic, but if you go for the option with the mild hybrid system, you get the same 6-speed manual gearbox that I have here. The change is lovely, it feels mechanical, it feels slick, and it's just a very pleasing gear change. It's definitely better than the Nissan Juke I had last week. Now I know this car won't be bought for performance, but in case you're wondering about such things, this car will hit 62 miles per hour in a respectable 8.9 seconds, and the top speed is 124 miles per hour. In regard to economy, on a combined run, Ford states this engine is able to offer up to around 50 mpg. And in regard to emissions, because this car is on the larger optional 19-inch alloys, this engine emits 101 grams per kilometre of CO2, meaning for the first year of VED, you will be required to pay £155. The engine itself, it performs well, it makes quite a nice noise, it's punchy. Now, could you have a Puma with the lower powered engine? Yes, I think you could. Now, if the car was fully laden, it may struggle a bit, but do you need this engine? No, I don't think so. I think the lesser engine would be absolutely fine. The inside of the car isn't quite as plush or as... Oh my god! Oh! That was probably a replica, but that was a replica of a Lancia Stratos. You'll have to excuse the rather inappropriate noise, but I think for that occasion it was appropriate. Wow. That's why I love filming in this area. You see so many wonderful cars. Anyway, back onto the Puma. So the inside isn't quite as nice as the Nissan Juke I had last week. It's not quite as plush, premium or as inviting, but let's not say this is a bad place in which to park your bottom, because it isn't. You have this lovely sporty steering wheel which feels quite nice to hold. I like the leather, it's got a nice paddedness to it. I don't think paddedness is a word, I've just made that up, but it feels pleasing in the hands. And of course you've got this lovely red stitching, which I must admit I'm a big fan of. I like red stitching in cars. Doesn't take a lot to please me, but yes, I do like red stitching. There's plenty of red stitching on the seats, the gear lever and the handbrake, but I don't want to turn my head too much because obviously my eyes will be away from the road. I think we will chuck a right here. Now I have a choice of driving modes. At this moment in time I have the car in normal, but pay attention to what I'm doing. Good to go. Let's rev this out. Oh, there's the rev limiter there. Yes, this engine is pretty potent, but of course there will be the ST if you want even more performance. Onto the driving modes. I have normal, of course, eco, sport, slippery, or trail. Now, in case you're wondering, this car will not be made available in all-wheel drive, so if you want to have that option, you can't have it. This car is front-wheel drive only. I'm going to pop it in sport because why not? It'd be rude not to. Let me navigate this corner first. What's this van going to do? Is he going to pull out? Yeah, it's pretty much pulled out already. Numpty. Right, anyway. Sport mode engaged. So as you would have seen by now, this car, as standard, has got the digital display, which I really like. Okay, it's not quite as pleasing to look at as the Audi virtual cockpit, but Audis are more premium. I think this display is crisp. It's got a nice clarity to it, and I really like the colours. It's got a nice vibrancy to it. For those of you that don't know, the Ford Puma is based on the Fiesta, meaning it's pretty good to drive. The handling is definitely better compared to the Duke I had last week. Yes, there is a bit more body roll compared to a Fiesta, but this car rides higher, of course, so you'd have to expect that. But in all honesty, the Puma handles itself with great aplomb. I'll be honest, I've not driven many small SUVs that are genuinely good to drive and fun to drive, but this definitely fits into that category. And it's interesting because the Ford EcoSport, and yes, it is pronounced EcoSport, look it up, it's not EcoSport, even though it looks like it's spelled EcoSport.
New Ford EcoSport, EcoSport, EcoSport.
The EcoSport, that was also designed on the Ford Fiesta platform, but for whatever reason, in my opinion, the fun factor, the drivability, it wasn't quite translated into the EcoSport as well as it has been in the Puma. To be honest, I could be blindfolded right now, and I could almost be fooled into thinking I'm driving a Fiesta with my driver's seat set a little bit higher up. I do quite like the noise this engine makes. It definitely sounds better compared to the 1 litre in the Duke, which didn't sound bad, but this just sounds a bit more sporty, a bit more. Now, in regard to prices, there's 4 trim levels available for the Puma. You have titanium, ST-Line, ST-Line X, and Vignale. The titanium starts from £21,640, and it goes all the way through to the Vignale, which starts from, I believe, I'm doing this from memory, it's £25,240. I do hope I got that right. Let's speak about the ride. Even though this is the ST-Line, and it does have the, well, this is the ST-Line X, it has got the ST-Line specific suspension, and it's on the 19-inch alloys, which are optional. The ride is actually pretty compliant. There is a firmness to it, but I wouldn't call it uncomfortable, and I would argue it's more settled and compliant compared to the Nissan Duke I had last week. This flows nicer across the tarmac. It's smoother, which is surprising, bearing in mind this is meant to be a sportier car. The steering has got a good weight to it, particularly when you have it in sport mode. There's a very good amount of grip because this car is wearing Goodyear Eagle F1 tyres, which is a pleasant surprise. So well done, Ford. Good choice of tyre. I'm hoping I can get a bit of open road in a few moments, so I can let the Puma have more room to play, let's say. More room to prowl. Until then, let me speak about the refinement. The refinement is so-so, it's not too bad. This car, as I mentioned, is wearing the 19-inch alloy, so there is a bit of tyre noise making its way into the cabin, Wind noise isn't too bad, but I would argue there's probably better refined SUVs out there. But I'd say it's on par, if not maybe a little bit better than the Duke last week. Now, standard equipment, I have an 8-inch touchscreen with DAB radio, Bluetooth, smartphone connectivity and navigation. I've got climate control, which is on right now because it's quite warm in here. Of course, I have that lovely digital display. I have rear parking sensors. I've also got front parking sensors and a rear view camera, but quite annoyingly, those are part of an optional pack, but the rear parking sensors are standard. Got cruise control. Actually, I have adaptive cruise control, but the adaptive part of the cruise control is again part of an optional pack. I do have a panoramic roof, which is very nice, makes the inside quite nice and airy, but again, that's optional, as is the Desert Island Blue paintwork. Right, let's turn down here. There we go. Bit of space. I'm going to shut up for a few moments and just let you guys enjoy the ride. Oh, Bentayga. If you hear any metallic rattling in the background, that's my filming equipment, it's not the car. This car does have a mild hybrid system, so when you ease off the accelerator you do get a bit of regenerative braking, and you may have spotted the battery icon on the right hand side. It is quite small, so it may not be picked up on camera. Let's change down to 5th, gives it a bit of power. Now, I may have mentioned it earlier, but I will speak about the fuel economy. So, on a combined run, Ford states that you get around 50 mpg with this engine, and the CO2 emissions with these alloys are 101 grams per kilometre, meaning for the first year of VED, you'll be expected to pay £155. So you can see my average mpg at this moment in time is around 42, so not too bad, but obviously I'm not really driving it in a very economical fashion. In all honesty, it is quite hard to drive this car in an economical way, because it's just so much fun to chuck about. Brakes perform well. A bit of a rev match there, a bit needless in a Puma, but hey, it's all good fun. In regard to driving enjoyment and driving pleasure, I'm going to stick my neck out and say this is the best small SUV I've driven. I'd say the next closest car would probably be the Seat Arona. But excuse me, I can't get my words out. But after having the Duke last week, this definitely feels like a step up in regard to a pleasurable driving sensation. Now, in some respects, the Duke does come with more kit as standard. So I don't get heated front seats in this, and some of the safety kit on this car is optional, which is a little bit frustrating. Oh, look at that behind me. A lovely Lotus Elise. Look how tiny that thing is. Oh. One of the cars that helped to inspire the Mazda MX-5, of course. That was lovely. To drive, in all honesty, it feels just like a taller Fiesta. And some of you may argue, oh, well, what's the point of this car then? Well, okay, yeah, small SUVs aren't the most popular cars amongst everybody, but this does have a fair amount of boot space compared to a Fiesta. So the Fiesta has, I think, 292 litres, whereas this has 456. So that's quite a big difference, speaking of the Mazda MX-5. That dog was making a lot of noise. Anyway, I digress. So the boot of this car is larger, and I'd argue the rear space is a bit better compared to a Fiesta. So if I was on the lookout for a new car, which I'm not, but I am expecting my first child, therefore I'm starting a family, and because of that I would probably go for this compared to a Fiesta, because yeah, the boot of the Fiesta isn't exactly gargantuan, whereas this car has got the biggest boot in its class. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, listen to that. And there we have it, guys, the brand new Ford Puma. Let's slip it over here. Oh, be quiet. So guys, I do hope you enjoyed that video. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.